Alright everyone, how are you doing? I'm Unruly and welcome back to Unruly Horror. This is what I bought this month, February 2023. I couldn't do it last month. I had a lot of bills go up, and due to buying stuff at Christmas, I couldn't exactly afford much, so I thought I'm just going to have to miss it. So I hope that isn't too disappointing. So just gonna have to do a quick one today. Mike's going everywhere. So first up is a film I've already got, but it's not in the collection because I don't have it in a case. Poltergeist. It's a classic Steven Spielberg, Tobe Hooper, about the girl who gets kidnapped. Would you say? I think that's the right term for it, by a poltergeist in the ancient Indian burial ground, which if you actually read up about it, it's a bit of a lost, like a inaccurate way to do it. So when I'm putting these, if the mic goes everywhere, I don't know what to do. Still learning. Next up is the Grudge remake. I've seen a lot of people say this is a bad film, and you can only get an opinion by watching it yourself. I have seen the Grudge films. I've even got them, but I'm a bit wary about remakes. As you know, there's been a lot of remakes and a lot of ones that haven't really done well. So I'm open to giving it a go, and it's just to see if it's any good. Next up, we have a Shortcut. I've had this one in my Amazon basket for a few months, and I just thought, when's the best time to do it than now? A group of, I don't know how to do this apparently. A group of 5 British teenagers are taking their usual school bus home when an unexpected detour turns their night into a nightmare. But this isn't your average night. A rare lunar eclipse is on the cards, as Nolan and his classmates, Bess, Carl, Queenie, and Reggie, soon discover. That doesn't give it much, does it? The pictures look alright. It's a British one, so I am British. Best thing about having this mic is if I wanted to, I could become sort of ASMR. I hope that wasn't too weird. Let's see. Next up, oh yeah, by the way, I made a mistake. I thought I was ordering Blu-rays and DVDs. Turns out I didn't change category. Turns out I just ordered all DVDs. So I need to remember that for next time. Next up is Silent Hill. I haven't played the video game, but I know what it's about. I haven't seen any of the films. I've seen clips, and I gotta admit, it does look canny good, like. So, based on the best-selling horror action Silent Hill, Rose, a desperate mother who takes her adopted daughter Sharon to the town of Silent Hill in an attempt to cure her of her ailment. After a car crash, Sharon disappears, and Rose begins the desperate search to get her back. I thought Silent Hill was about that man. Oh wait, I may be on about Silent Hill 2 or something. Forget it then. Um, she descends into a fog, smouldering of ash into the centre of the twisted reality of a town's terrible secret. Pursued by grotesque, deformed creatures and townspeople stuck in permanent purgatory, Rose begins to uncover the truth behind the apocalyptic disaster that burned the town 30 years ago. If it's anything like the video game, and again, video game adaptations, Mario and Luigi. I'm just going to say that now. John Ligman, he may be fantastic, but I don't know why he chose to do that film. Next up is a film I remember. Yeah, sorry, bit of interruption. Next film I remember coming out, and I remember seeing all over Facebook, but I never actually saw the film. It is Horns with Mr. Daniel Radcliffe. I think this is one of his very first films after Harry Potter. What was it, 2015? His first one back was Woman in Black. So I think this is like his fourth one. I think he did after Potter. I'm not quite sure. Um, Trying to see. No, 2013. So it was like, yeah, I'm right. Just after Harry Potter, this was. Um, from Master of Horror Alexandra Aja comes the supernatural thriller starring Daniel Radcliffe and Juno Temple. Ig Perish, that's how you pronounce it, world fall apart when he is accused of murdering his girlfriend Merrin. Things are made worse when the entire town turns against him, believing him to be guilty of the brutal crime. After a hard night of drinking, Ig awakens hungover to find horns growing out of his head. He soon discovers that they have the ability to drive people to confess sins and give in to selfish impulses. Ig decides to use this unnatural ability to discover the truth about Merrin's death and to seek revenge on the true murderer. Based on the dark fantasy novel from the best-selling author Joe Hill, Horns features a great supporting cast including David Morse and Heather Graham. Okay, yeah, this does sound like a one I'm going to be interested in. Yeah. I remember being on Facebook back then. Like, I was new to Facebook. I joined in 2012, and that was everywhere. Like, him and the horns were everywhere. Ignore me here. I've tried to put wax on it. 305 wax. In this bit at the front here has a mind of its own. Next up is a film I have seen, and it is one of the films I watched because Nuke's Top 5, the one that does the Ghost videos now, they used to have a channel called Nuke's. Is it still Nuke's Top 5, isn't it? Yeah. Nuke Norway, that was his old channel. And this was on his top 5. Is it? I don't know if it's unknown horror films or if it's top 5 zombie films. Like, you can tell someone's age when you say, oh, how did you discover Nuke Norway when he was doing horror films instead of ghosts? And then there was a weird time when he just did Omegle prank videos. Yeah, that was a weird time. It's Splinter. Now, the thing I like this about is Splinter. It's in its name. You get infected from splinters. Like, yeah, that's it. So splinters, and it's kind of, how do I say this? It's like a possession as well, possession film, because the splinters possess you. So I can only explain this by saying what happens in the film. The splinters get on the guy's hand and arm, I think. Don't know if it's just the hand. And the hand becomes, you know, zombified, possessed, or whatever, and it's trying to get them. And the owner's like holding it back to the point where it snaps his arm. And so, yeah, they're stuck at a gas station in America trying to figure out, how to escape. I have seen it, and not going to give anything away, but it is a very unique take on kind of a zombie kind of thing. So yeah, would recommend. Next up is a film I haven't seen, but I discovered it from Dead Meat because that seems where I get a lot of my recommendations. Good old James A. Janice. And it's also good because the main actor, the one who plays the main villain, he's from my neck of the woods, Newcastle. It is Mr. Ross Noble in Stitches. Stitches is Jared Richard Grindle, Noble's character. And if I believe this is an Irish film as well, is the sleaziest English, please, is the sleaziest clown working the children's party circuit. Arriving late to one birthday, his timing is off, the bratty kid's a nightmare, and a prank goes horribly wrong, where he falls on a kitchen knife and goes to the big top hat in the sky. Uh, 10 points whoever did that. Years later, the same nasty kids attend another more grown-up bash. Little do they know, thanks to a black magic clown cult. Black magic clown cult. Pretty sure that's a heavy metal band somewhere. Stitches will be the uninvited guest of honor, seeking revenge on those responsible for his untimely death. Gore and frights combine this twisted tale of one very bad clown. Anybody who has a fear of clowns probably should stay away from this. And also, just want to point out, I don't know what's wrong with my tripod. This angle is the only way it will sit normally. I've tried everything. I don't know what's wrong with it. Can't wait to watch that. The Kill Count was good. Next up is a film that two films, it's a collection, that I have seen since I was a kid. And I would call it child horror because it is a bit gory, bit gruesome, and but it's kind of child friendly as well. It's Gremlins 1 and 2. That isn't what I paid for it. Apparently it was £15.99, then £6.97. I paid £2 on eBay. Do I need to explain Gremlins? Don't feed them past midnight. Don't get them wet. Simple rules. Oh yeah, and no lights. They're just classics. Like if you haven't seen Gremlins, what are you doing? How did you live? How was the rock that you grew up under? What's it like? Okay, next up is a film that I have been wanting to get and I have been looking for since I started this channel, but I've never been able to find one that wasn't like £20 or £40 on eBay. And I finally got lucky and managed to get myself a DVD of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, I've been wanting to get this one for a long time and I've never been able to find it. So I'm glad, from the writer of Scream. Yes, Kevin Williamson, if you didn't know. A sharp, sassy script and a trendy soundtrack. Scarier than Scream. Debatable. Very, very debatable. It's Scream-esque because, like I say, it's Kevin Williams. So, on the magic summer's night of high school's end, Julie, Helen, Ray, and Barry get into Barry's new Beamer. Barry's new Beamer. That's a flaming tongue twister there in one. And drive out to celebrate their lives and hopes before them. But on the road, they have a terrible accident and hit and kill a man. In the shock and panic that follows, they dump the body in the sea rather than reporting an accident. As the body sinks, the hand of the dead man breaks the surface in a last grasp of life, then disappears into the murky depths. The four friends realize they are now guilty of murder and swear to take their secret to graves. But now someone is stalking them, someone who knows who they are, and knows what they did last summer, and seeks revenge. It's based. It's the inspiration of Scary Movie. A Scary Movie is the plot point from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and mixed it with Scream. I didn't know that till I watched the kill count of I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I was like, this is very familiar. And then it clicked. I was like, oh my god. Last but not least is a film I have seen It's a remake, not a very good one. Well, it's decent. It's too reliant on CGI. I've got the original. It's The Thing. Um, do I need to say what The Thing's about? Paleontologist Kate Lloyd joins a Norwegian science team in Antarctica that has discovered an extraterrestrial ship buried in the ice, and an organism that seemed to have died in the crash. When an experiment frees the alien, a shape-shifting creature with the ability to turn itself into a perfect replica of any living being, Kate must join the crew's pilot, Carter, to keep it from killing them off on one at a time. Paranoia soon spread like an epidemic as they were infected one by one, and a thrilling race for survival begins. Just if you'd think the name The Thing in the story is similar to The Thing, oh, don't worry, don't be confused. The Thing is a prelude to John Carpenter's classic 1982 film of the same name. But it doesn't mention The Thing from the Other World, which the original Thing is a remake of. Horror Facts with Lee. Yeah, and that is my films for this month. And I will promise to see you next month. Again, sorry, I've just dipped my in my cup of tea. Fantastic. I'll see you guys next month. Have a nice day.